Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to work on some fall desserts. The first one we're going to work on is a pumpkin butterscotch cake. And it's pretty simple. You're not going to follow the cake mix directions. You're going to follow the directions from the recipe. And this is all dump and go. It's not going to be anything complicated. You're going to need 1 box of yellow cake mix, 1 small box of butterscotch pudding, dry mix. Here's what it looks like, in case you need to see. Okay, I'm going to mix those together. Also, you're going to use 4 eggs. And I've already got those here. I'm going to just break them up just a little bit. Just a little. I'm not actually beating them. I'm just kind of breaking up the yolk so it'll be a little bit easier. Okay, so pour all those in. 4 eggs. I'm going to do 1/4 of a cup of oil. And 1/4 of a cup of water. And we're going to do about 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. I always make my own every year. 2 teaspoons. Kind of just like it better. And I always have it on hand. And I keep all the ingredients and everything and just make a huge batch. And then the last thing that you're going to add is a cup of pumpkin puree. So this one is from the dollar store, but it says 100% pumpkin, pure pumpkin, not pumpkin, I think, what is it called? Pumpkin pie filling or anything like that. You're not going to do that. This is real pumpkin. It has no spices in it, nothing. Just pumpkin. All right. So we'll put that there. We're going to mix this together with a spoon just a little bit, and then I've got my mixer ready, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish mixing it all the way. I just like to get my initial stirring done first. Okay. So I get about that far, and then I just use my mixer for the rest. Okay. Try not to make a mess. Okay. It's a little bit thick. So I'm just going to scrape these off. It smells fantastic. Butterscotch and pumpkin mixed together smells heavenly. Trying to get this because it's making a mess. Bear with me just 1 second. Let me get this cleaned off. Alright, there's one. Yeah, it climbed up the beaters, so I'm just gonna stir the rest of it by hand. All right. Okay. Hang on just 1 second. Let me wash my hands. Okay. Finish mixing all this together. Okay. Now, I'm going to use a bundt pan. I'm going to spray this, and I'm going to hope that when it's done, it comes out right. Because most of the time it doesn't using this. We're going to pray. Please let it come out perfectly. Alright. Spray it real good. Got some on me. It's fantastic. Okay. My oven is 300 preheated. I cannot talk. Preheated to 350 degrees. So, and it is completely preheated. So do not put your cake in there unless it's completely ready, because it'll mess your cook times up, your bake times. Now you can ice this cake, but I'm not going to. The recipe doesn't call for it. So my kids are probably gonna have a problem with that, I'm sure. They believe every cake should have icing. But I'm not gonna ice this one. I think that if you couldn't find a butter pecan or a caramel icing or make one, cream cheese is always my fallback for pumpkin. Ooh, okay. Set this down. Alright, we'll spread this out in here. 350 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes. So about 30 minutes or so, you need to start checking it. Make sure that it's ready. And when a toothpick is inserted and comes out clean, then you know it's done. All right, I'll see you back here in a few. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. Nothing stuck to the pan, but it cracked on me. So I'm going to sit here and cut this for y'all. But it turned out good. You can sprinkle some powdered sugar over the top, or that's what it looks like. It's all cooled and everything. It smells really good. Perfect for a fall day. But knowing my family, they're gonna have some icing. But it smells great, and it's just the perfect for fall. And they say that pudding mixes take it up a notch with cake mixes, and I'm sure this is going to be no different. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to focus on another fall recipe. This is a fall dessert, and the name of it's caramel apple cake mix bars. So you need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and the first thing we're going to work on is the crust portion. So going to need a yellow cake mix. We're going to mix that in a separate bowl. So you're going to need a yellow cake mix, a large egg, and six tablespoons of melted butter. Trying to clean up here. Okay. You will also have to have a 9x13 pan sprayed and set aside. Alright, so let's start this. I've got 6 tablespoons of butter right here. I'm going to melt it just a little bit more. It's softened, but it's not melted. And then we're going to have to take this and we're going to press it into our prepared pan. And we also need an apple peeled and chopped. Now, this is supposed to equal about 2 cups worth. And I only bought 1 apple because I didn't want... We were just not in apples right now. And I didn't want to buy a bunch of apples, you know, and then I'm stuck with trying to get rid of all these apples. So I just bought one. And I figure I'll make it with just the one apple. So it may be a little less than 2 cups worth. Okay. So we'll stir all this together. Yellow cake mix. Was it 1 egg? Let's make sure it was just supposed to be 1 egg. Yeah. 1 egg and 6 tablespoons of butter melted. Okay. It took me forever to get around to making this recipe because this product right here, I had such a hard time trying to find it. But I finally found it. So you're gonna need it. I've never used it before, so this will be like a fun little experiment. All right. Hands are clean. I'm gonna try to combine this a little better. Hopefully it'll do it just a little bit better with me using my hands. So it's almost like a soft cookie dough. Okay. I think it's just a little bit of a headache and a little bit of prep work. And it'll be a really cute and tasty fall dessert that comes right together. All right. It's not really sticking to my hands at all. Okay. All right. So there it is. Now, let's get it out of the way. You'll see. Okay. So we're going to take this, we're going to spread it into the bottom of our pan. So I always, when I have to do something like this, I always put everything in the center and work my way out. And then that way it kind of covers everything. Okay. All right. Okay. Now. All right. So give me a second, and I'm gonna peel this apple real quick, and I'm gonna chop it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So I took my apple and I chopped it up as small as I could. That way I'd have plenty to go, you know, the length of the pan. And I sprinkled some cinnamon on it without sugar. And then now I'm just going to sprinkle the cake mixture with the apples. And now I'm gonna wash my hands because that's a big mess. Okay. Now, you just need a half a cup of the toffee bits, which are like the Heath toffee bits, which I already had some of those, and some of these caramel bits. And you're gonna sprinkle that over. So that's about a quarter of a cup. About a half. Well, I just did a couple extra, just, you know, about half of what I just did in the one handful, because I don't want to do too many, and I don't want to do too less of an amount. And then you're going to also sprinkle these. We're going to do one more just to make sure we got enough. Okay. And last thing is we're going to pour condensed milk, canned condensed milk over this. Ugh, it's too thick. So we're going to make sure, trying to get this even as possible. And I have my spatula ready to scoop the rest of it out. It's very, very thick. Okay. Alright, so 350 degrees for about half an hour. And it has to be cooled completely before you cut it into bars, okay? Alright, I'm going to try ever so gently to try to make sure this is good, but it's pretty much covered. I don't want to disturb it too much. I think it'll be fine. 350 degrees, half an hour. Okay, I'll see you back here in a few. Okay, y'all. So this is what it looks like fresh out of the oven. And let me see if I can let you see a little bit more. That's what it looks like fresh out of the oven. You need to let it cool completely before you cut into it. And so that's what it's sitting here doing, it's cooling. So, be a little bit soft. But I just, you know, waited till around the edges kind of got brown. And it was in there a good 30 minutes. So I even did an extra 35 minutes to make sure, not an extra 35 minutes. I meant I baked it until 35 minutes were up. Then I took it out of the oven so that I was sure that it got done. Okay, we have another recipe coming up. It's for a pumpkin hot chocolate, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make some pumpkin spice hot chocolate. This does not have pumpkin in it, it just has pumpkin spice in it. So literally 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients: milk, any type, chocolate chips. You need milk chocolate chips, pumpkin spice, and some vanilla. So perfect little warm chocolate milk basically for those blustery fall days. And perfect addition to our fall desserts that we have already talked about. So right now I'm heating a cup of milk in a pan on the stove top. I'm doing it low because you don't want to boil this. It will mess everything up. So I'm trying to give it time enough to warm up, and then we're going to put some chocolate chips in there, and we're going to stir those till they're melted, add our vanilla and our pumpkin spice, and we're basically going to be done. So let's get started on that. I will get right back with you in just a minute. Okay, y'all. So right now I'm working on getting these chocolate chips melted. I added 1/3 of a cup of milk chocolate chips, and right now I'm using a whisk to kind of get those melted. I have my burner set at not low but not medium, so somewhere in between, like a low medium heat. And I'm working on getting all these chocolate chips melted. Main thing is just keep your heat on low and don't let it boil. And so I cut it down some more because I'm worried that it's going to get too hot. But it's basically a fall spiced chocolate milk. Okay. Still gonna be a few minutes. Okay, I will be right back here in a few with the melted chocolate milk. Okay, so it's all done except for this little stubborn chocolate chip. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna put a little vanilla, and I did turn my heat off. A little bit of vanilla, about a half a teaspoon. Oops, it'll be fine. And a half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I didn't want to go too overboard with that. I'm going to just take my whisk and I'm going to whisk that back in. And that's it. Real easy and simple. Smells like fall. Okay, so let me get my mug. Hopefully I won't spill it. Can y'all see? Okay. So I'll pour this in here. Okay, there it is. I've got some whipped cream over here. I'm just going to dollop that in. That's it. All done. Perfect to go with the desserts that I posted previous to this recipe. And it smells fantastic. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.